How many people have asked you about your win?
A lot.
Millions.
Yeah, it's all people want to talk about now. But I don't think I'll ever get bored talking about Brands Hatch 3 weeks ago. It was the most amazing day. It was my 4th BTCC championship,
I know.
which is crazy for even me to comprehend that. But it was. The emotions of the day were so much more than the others, because I really grasped victory from the jaws of defeat after race 2.
Oh my God, that was what I was going to say, race 2. Did you then, at that point, were you like, because it could have gone either way, couldn't it?
My chin dropped massively after race 2, and I said to the media that's me out of it, and that's how I felt, because I knew I had to start race 3 P25, and my 2 championship protagonists, Andy and Dan, were up the front. So as far as I was concerned, I was out of it. So I think
Andy was like, I've totally got this.
Yeah,
Sorry, teammate, you're in trouble.
yeah, it did feel like that. So I think for me, when I crossed the line and won it, that's why the emotions were off the scale.
Yeah.
That's the most emotion I've ever shown in my life, and I'm still a bit in shock that I won it. It's I'm still awake in the middle of the night and think, was that real? Did that happen? And thankfully it did. So I'm slowly coming down from that massive high. There's still a massive dent in my roof. It's sort of the cardinal sin is to get on the roof of your car, and I did it. So it hasn't polished out.
Does it? How does it compare to your first championship win?
I think the first is always the most difficult, because you haven't experienced those emotions before. You're not quite sure how to win it. And I was battling against Jason Plato, obviously, and Giovanardi, guys who had won it before, loads of experience. And I was the young buck, trying to beat them. And through grit and determination on the day, I did just about. But this one feels like it was harder to get because it was all, Dan Camish was in the box seats. He really had it won. But with a lap and a half to go, then he had a mechanical, and then that threw it back my way. So, they're all difficult to win, and I've won them all by different means. Yeah. But I think my emotions of this one were even more than the first one, because I felt I'd lost it and then I got it back. Yeah. So still really enjoying the moment.
I think people really underestimate as well, to actually win a championship, for everything to come together is just so unlikely, isn't it? That it just, like you're saying, emotionally, it just must push you to such a different place.
Oh, it completely puts you through the ringer. Yeah. And all season, as you get closer to the final, the screw tightens a bit, so each event you feel a bit more pressure. And then you go to Brands for the final, and with BTCC, everything and anything could happen, but that was the most unbelievable cliffhanger of a weekend I think you could ever imagine. So it was great for the fans. I think they absolutely loved it, and the feedback that I've got has been incredible. Yeah. I've got so many images and pictures people have sent me from where they were in that moment. Whether they were at Brands, they were at home. As some lady said, she screamed that loud that the cat split through the cat flap, and it still hasn't come back. So yeah, it's nice to hear everybody else's emotions. Mine were pretty off the scale, but it sounds like everybody else was too.
How quickly, after race 2, how quick are you to sort of get over that and get your head back into gear for race 3?
Well, I spent most of that gap between race 2 and race 3 in the steward's office with Matt Neal, arguing our side. So I haven't much time to actually think about race 3. So it was out of the steward's office, helmet on, into the car. Okay, let's go. Yeah. And in hindsight, that was probably a good thing, because I didn't have time to overthink it. I just had to. My back was against the wall. I just had to try and make as much progress as I could. And I had a great opening lap. I passed 10 people on the first lap. So I was straight into 15th position. And the race was just moving my way. And, I could feel, once I passed Dan Camish, the sort of momentum of the race shifted. I was going forward, he was going backwards. So you always know something could kick off, and it did. So... But yeah, it's still hard to get your head around that what happens. I haven't rewatched it all yet, so that'll be fun.
What happens now? I mean, Tom Ingram and I were just chatting about the fact that people think that the off season is an off season, but it's really not at all, is it? You're immediately preparing for the next season. So what is happening in your world now?
Yeah, it's really nice to enjoy the moment, of winning a championship, but so quickly that's short-lived, and because the competition, Monday morning, all they're thinking about is next year. So for me, I'm trying to still enjoy it, but I've already been to China last weekend to do a race in Chinese touring car. Yep. So for a driver, you want to keep competing, you want to keep driving and still trying to improve the skill set, because the competition is getting younger and faster. Yeah. So you got to try and keep the level high. So it's great to be at Silverstone today, testing in these difficult conditions and trying to improve the car. That's what we're doing, is trying to make ourselves better and faster for next year, because the competition will move on. But this is probably the last time I will sit in the race car until maybe March, until the weather turns again. So all our energies now are focused on the business side of motorsport. So, making sure that we put the old sponsorship program back together for next year. We do a lot of events with BMW this time of the year, more driving days. So yes, there's never a dull week, but it's nice to have the pressure off for a while.
Will it be your 8th season next year? Is that right?
In BTCC? Yeah. No, I think it's more like 15.
Really?
Yeah, really. My first year in BTCC was 2002. And I missed a few, so I am now the Matt Neal has been in it long. But I'm one of the old hands now, somehow. But
it's almost time to come to World, but you're not quite old enough for World.
Yeah. So I need to keep myself looking young. Yeah. But always keeping an eye on World Touring Car. I do enjoy following the series, and obviously there's going to be a big final happen there as well, with Ivan and Ted and Norby still fighting for it. So it's good to see how the other half do it as well. Yeah.
Good. All right. Have you had lunch? Is that what you are planning on doing next?
Yes, I've had lunch. Yeah, so I do love this time of the season, because I can enjoy all the treats that I stay away from during the season. So it was a curry last night, and I just had some Thai food for lunch. So I'm digging in while I can.
There we go. If you ever wondered, Turks' favourite go-to, curry, pizza as well.
Yeah, I've been known to dig into a pizza as well. Yeah, especially on a night out.
Pizza Thai sounds good to me. You're making me hungry. Good. All right. Enjoy. Hope the rest of the day goes well. Hopefully the weather will stay as it is, or a little bit brighter would be nice, but at least no more rain.
Yeah.
And well done.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.